Here in Washington and around the country are asking us, did the president wait too long to make the trip and ask the tough questions? With us now to talk about that is Joe Cirincione. He is the Senior Vice President for National Security and International Affairs at the Center for American Progress. Joe, is it too little, too late for President Bush, or can there be some positive developments coming out of Jordan?
It's a long shot. I mean, you really get the feeling that the ship is going down and the crew is running around frantically trying to plug the holes, but the holes are too big. There's too many of them. This memo is just astonishing that the administration would leak this on the eve of the president's visit.
Why did they do that?
Well, I think they're trying to make Malachi choose. You know, he's in a tough spot. He has to choose between the president who put him in power and the cleric who's keeping him there. And clearly this is the president's efforts to say our support is not indefinite. It is not unconditional. You've got to act now.
Talk about al-Sadr's play, because that's what's so fascinating. He's under attack by the administration, Stephen Hadley, for being basically a pawn of al-Sadr, and yet al-Sadr comes out today saying we're getting out of his government.
Absolutely. Al-Sadr's making his own power play. This is what makes this so fascinating. He has two very powerful men, one in the United States, most powerful country in the world, but the other in Baghdad, controlling the largest militia in the country. He may have more power than the President of the United States, and he's now exercising it. He's warning Malachi that if you choose the President over me, you're going down.
And so what does the president do going forward with the management of Iraq? Obviously, it's a chaotic situation. Yesterday, a report came out that said basically we have lost the Al-Anbar province. We've lost western Iraq. And chances are good we're now going into Baghdad. Is that the next play, basically letting the Al-Anbar province go to hell and just worry about securing Baghdad?
Right. You just heard Jim Miklashevsky report that we're moving troops into Baghdad, but we've done that before. You can do that on a short-term basis, but it doesn't, one, it actually quell the violence, and two, you can't sustain those troop surges. So the president doesn't have sort of troop augmentation options at this point. The one thing he should do is tell Malachi that if he doesn't shift tactics, doesn't shift strategy immediately, we're going to start withdrawing U.S. troops. I think that's the only thing that's going to get Malachi's attention. The problem is the president doesn't want to do that. Interestingly, if you read this memo page, which is now, thanks to the New York Times, up on the website, it tells us things that we really haven't had in the public domain before, that Malachi has been intentionally siding with the Shia against the Sunni, replacing key commanders, calling off operations against Shia, moving them against Sunni. He's taking sides in this civil war. You cannot allow him to do that.
No doubt about it, Joe. It is shocking and very bad news for the United States troops on the ground. Hey, thanks so much, Joe Cirincione. Greatly appreciate it.